I'm Jay Stone. Welcome to another episode of my show live at rockmetaltalk.com from Tarpon Springs, Florida. What you heard right there was Heckler by Downfall 2012. And I have Dan on the phone. He's in the band, so welcome to the show, brother.
Hey, thanks a lot, man. Yeah, party time.
So, tell me a little bit about the band. You guys are pretty much new to my show, so I played you once or twice over the past couple of weeks while I was waiting on having you on. So,
Cool.
Tell us a little bit about the band.
Okay, Downfall 2012, Houston-based power trio, three-piece lead vocal, guitar, drums, and bass in your face. Been doing it a really long time, man. Boo and Casey couldn't join me tonight. They're in the studio actually working on some new material, which is exciting. But we're good, man. We've been around a while. We've hit a lot of different markets across the country, and we plan to do that more this year. Rocking.
Cool. So is this going to be a full-length CD that you guys are working on?
This one is, man. It is. It's kind of the short version of the story is we're compiling a certain percentage of the work we've put out over the last few years, along with a cluster of new material, and dropping it all as a full-length record. And it should be out pretty soon, man. It keeps getting pushed back because we keep getting invited to do other stuff, which are pleasant distractions, but the time is almost here, and when it comes, it's going to sound awesome.
Right, yeah, you want to get it done, but you want to have it sound good, too.
Oh, yeah.
But, so are you guys in a studio, or is this something that you guys, have your own studio and yourself recording it?
A little bit of everything, man. With modern technology, it's crazy. Like, I mean, I've been doing this a very long time, and I've just watched it just morph. To answer that question, though, currently what we'll do is we'll record a certain portion of what we have remotely at our personal studio here in Houston, and then we send it off to our producer Jim Finley out in Los Angeles, and he takes those tracks and he works on them, and then we fly out there to finish it up.
Is there a label involved, or is this you guys
Nope.
self-produce everything?
All independent, sir.
Cool. What about the merch? Do you guys print your own T-shirts and stuff like that, or is that that's awesome? Yeah, that's how I used to do it too.
We have let me backtrack. No, we don't actually print ourselves. That'd be pretty sweet. We did that for a little while earlier on, but we have a really good company that we work with out of Fort Worth that does the majority of our work, and then another guy here closer to Houston that does the other stuff. But our merch table is something that people usually remember us by. It's just packed with all kinds of goodies and fun stuff, and we're really blessed to have an amazing artist do all of our artwork, and he's just a phenomenal talent by the name of Alex Tomic here in town, and he does comic book work for we have. I don't know how much you know about the band, but we have comic books that come with our records, and he does all the comic books, and then that all translates to awesome T-shirts and other items. So
right, no, that sounds awesome. That's good when you have one guy that does the artwork because he knows what you want and it stays consistent.
Yeah, this guy just murders it, man. He's amazing.
Yeah, so I mean, at a certain point, you have to turn the merchandise over to someone else when you're selling a lot of stuff. So that part gets draining. So I know what that means. But as far as the merch table, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much what you have to do these days. Is you got to have that merch to sell at the shows, and have an impressive merch table to that's how you got to make your money now. I mean.
Definitely.
I don't know how MP3 sales are for you guys, but when the new album comes out, are there going to be physical copies of it available?
Yeah, we're going to do a physical run of it, and again, it'll come with a comic book, just kind of compiling all of our music is a concept record, or at least all the music we've released in the past few years, and so it'll kind of close the story while revisiting a lot of it, and have a comic book that comes with it. I don't know, man. I think we are kind of on the way out of printing stuff physically, but we'd like to do at least a good run of this record, and we'll see what happens for the next one.
Yeah, it's funny, though. It's like, I was thinking today, MP3s have been around longer than CDs kind of lasted, even though CDs are still around, but they're not really as popular.
Right.
But then you have vinyl coming back. Man, I see some of these records, man, they're $70 for a double album. I was like, Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction was $40. I was like, holy shit.
Wow,
bands should start printing a couple of copies of that. The vinyl stuff. It's crazy. And then I always see on Facebook this one company who sends out like a vinyl record every month, but you know, half of it's probably garbage. But so do you guys have a tour planned or?
No, man, we keep bouncing around. We've been doing a lot of stuff locally while we've been in the studio. We've gotten invites onto certain things that were pretty awesome, but then just for whatever reason, one thing or another would cause us to either have to pass, or the people putting the tour on would have to pass. So just kind of a weird situation. Nothing bad. We will be touring. I just don't have anything definitive just yet.
Right.
I mean, we just did last year. We were fortunate enough to jump on the road with OTEP for 3 months, and a lot of those markets have been asking to get us back in them. So if we do tour, if you've seen us, you know, in any of those specific markets we hit, I think we did about 60 or 70 shows. We're planning on going back to most of those areas. So
cool. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, especially when you're wanted back, so it's pretty cool.
Definitely.
How is the local scene? I mean, it looks like you guys pull in a lot of people to your shows.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends, man. It depends on the show. We play locally a whole bunch, man. We're like the hometown heroes here in like this northeastern suburb of Houston called Humble. But yeah, man, when we play anywhere in the Houston area, we generally do well. Some nights it's packed, other nights it just depends.
Right.
The scene here is interesting, man. It's what I tell people all the time is it's like waves, and I think a lot of scenes are probably similar, but Houston is no exception. Like literally, we'll be popping for like 2 years, and there'll be some killer bands, and then it'll kind of plunge, and there'll be 1 or 2 or 3 like, you know, bands that kind of survive it, and then, you know, a couple of years later it picks back up. So we've just seen it do it over and over and over again.
Right. I mean, the music scene is massive where you guys are from. So I mean, I think besides my hometown locally here in Tarpon Springs and like Newport Richey area, Clearwater, Tampa, Texas is like my second biggest market, pretty much. So it's
I totally believe.
I mean, most of the bands that I play, believe it or not, are a lot of cold cock whiskey bands, and a lot of them guys are from Texas. So that's what I mean. I think it's a hot market right now, really, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I believe it.
Was OTEP you know, your favorite thing to go on the road, or what was one of your favorite shows that stands out in your career so far?
I think that in my musical career, okay, let me take you way back. I always tell it's probably the most boring story ever, and I'll make it really short. But I've been playing. I'm still young, I promise you, but I've been playing in Downfall 2012 since 1997. So I can honestly say that like the better part of 3 months that we spent on the road with OTEP has probably been among the best times I've had in my career in music. We have toured before, quite a bit actually, but these tours just were so much fun and so much camaraderie amongst the other touring bands and the people in OTEP and all that. And it was just a lot of positivity and a lot of enthusiastic fans.
Cool. So to touch on what you said there about Downfall 2012 being around since 1997, was the name of the band always Downfall 2012?
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. From the get-go, for sure.
Cool. Because there's a story behind the name as well.
Of course. Of course.
Usually there is. But to go back to the CD production real quick, are you guys comic book fans that make you want to put out a comic, or is that just something?
Yeah, no. Boo and I grew up. Boo's our bass player. He and I, we didn't grow up together, but we both grew up as fans of comic books. I think he actually is very surprisingly educated on a lot of the comics that I wasn't into, and I think vice versa. But yeah, we were big fans of all that stuff, man. Like I was like the classic, you know, I don't know, suburban teenager growing up, like in comics and punk rock and heavy metal and candy and breaking rules, you know.
Right, I hear you. So, who are some of your favorite local bands to play with?
Like local Houston?
Yeah. You know, ones that you enjoy, inviting out to other shows and stuff like that.
A couple really great bands, just right off the top of my head, that come to mind are Rainchild. Is super like brethren band of ours that we actually I grew up with those guys. They're amazing. Rainchild, if if you ever get a chance to check them out, they're phenomenal. Another band that's incredible, female ensemble, Vanilla Sugar. I actually feel like those gals are really going to take it very far. And a band called To Whom It May, and another called Pulse Rate Zero. Like there's a bunch of bands though that we're super tight with, man. It's hard to kind of just spout them off, but those are four that I can say I very much respect and love performing with.
Cool. Now, excuse me, I read a little bit about the band, and I see you guys come from a lot of different musical backgrounds. So what are some of the influences that you guys come from and put into your music?
I think that the strength in our band, probably, I would think, in the same respect, some people would maybe call this the weakness, is how different our musical tastes are. We do agree on a handful of artists as far as our band's concerned, but like when we're touring, whoever's driving picks the music, and it's literally like different depending on who's on that steering wheel, man. Boo, our bass player, comes from like solid like punk rock and like metal, post-hardcore stuff. He's really into all the kind of heavy, fast-moving shit. Whereas Casey, our drummer, even though he plays balls to the wall and screams his head off on the drum kit, literally listens to like reggae and like singer-songwriter stuff and pop stuff, and big, huge Bob Marley fan, old Incubus, like just kind of groove-oriented stuff like that. Myself, I listen to a little bit of everything, but I mainly kind of yield to old metal,